Everyone, welcome to our second ever LinkedIn Live for Orlando Insight Group. I am your host, Erin Moody. I lead marketing for the Orlando Insight Group. And today we are very excited to welcome Laurent Dresse. And he will be talking to us today about lots of things data related. He is the chief evangelist of Data Governance Kitchen. And he is bringing us some expertise in data governance and industry knowledge. So we have lots of great questions to ask today, and I'm excited to get rolling.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Erin. I mean, it's always a pleasure to share with the community and get, building this knowledge and sharing with people. So I'm excited about the topics and the discussion we'll have in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Welcome. So we will just jump right in and dive in. So the first question that I had for you was on your journey and getting started in data governance. So would you be able to share with us what led you to specialize in data governance and kind of how your career path evolved into your current gig with Data Governance Kitchen?
Yeah. Whoops, sorry. In fact, I mean, I was absolutely not prepared to jump into the data world. I started my life in the hospitality sector and vertical, okay. I would say. I was a front office manager in a hotel for a couple of years. So, I mean, in terms of learning the customer relationship is very important because, I mean, when you check in, you're in front of your customer. So there is no escape. And if there is an issue, you have to solve it right on the spot. And then I've always been attracted by the IT world in general. So I decided to move from hospitality to IT. But without any specific IT background, I started with training. I was training people, I mean, from companies about Microsoft suite, I mean, without any specific advertisement for them. And then moved to IT outsourcing, in fact, because back in the 90s, 2000 type of years, it was very trendy to outsource your IT services from companies to external parties. So that's where I started, and I focused on the pharma type of support. So I was in charge of logistics around remote data capture. So back at the time, we were providing physicians, hospitals, nurses with computers and training to really capture information within their clinical trials. And then I was managing IT support for Coke, for instance, where I spent a couple of years, and then moving towards more product management and MDM type of job. And at some point in time, I was working for the number one leader in personal protection equipment, PPEs in the world. And I was working in one division. So I was the representative of this division in the overall initiative. And then they asked me to take over this overall program of master data management across the world. And that's where I jumped into data, master data, not data governance. And then from there, I became a consultant and then worked for a couple of big names in the consultancy world, and joined at the end Data Galaxy, which is a data and AI governance platform. And that's where now I'm working as a chief evangelist. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect segue into my next question. um, what, as a chief evangelist, how do you approach promoting data governance principles with organizations and the broader industry?
I mean, evangelist is really coming from a kind of conviction and religious standpoint. Is how you preach the good words around data governance practices on the market and with your customers. So my role is really to exchange with the market and explain what are the challenges and the solutions around data governance. And now, I mean, 5 years back, we were talking about data governance. Today, we are talking more around data product governance, AI governance, because it's shifting so fast that you need to adapt, in fact. So we are working really towards helping organizations with what is your AI vision? How do you want to build use case or strategic initiatives and use cases around your AI strategy? And then which data do you need to succeed? How will you measure it? And then how you will maintain it? And then we close the loop from strategic initiative, use case, data cataloging, data product governance, and then you make sure that whatever you do in your organization brings value back to your organization. And this is really my role as a data evangelist. And on the top of that, it's the way back is the more we discuss with the market, the more we exchange and understand their constraint needs, challenges, and vision, we can feed back the information into the organization and then develop the right product and the right services to make them successful.
Yeah, that's really cool. I can see how companies would need that right now instead of just, hearing the AI buzzword and running to buy all the products, like actually having a strategy and having someone like you come in and help them figure out
that's indeed the issue. I mean, I'm pretty seasoned. I will not tell my age, but I'm pretty seasoned. A couple of years back, we heard about big data. We heard about machine learning. We heard about cloud. Now we hear about lake houses or AI. I mean, there is always a buzzword on the market. But if you don't get the foundations right, and this is where most of the company failed, the foundations right is knowing your data, connecting to your data, understanding the value you want to bring. I mean, it will be a kind of endless loop and vortex in which you will fall and you will never be successful. So the companies who are successful today are the ones who understood the value of the data and I mean what is in it for the business. Yeah.
Right. What's the ROI? The bottom line.
That's the ROI. Yeah.
Yep. All right, perfect. With working with companies and getting in, what are some common misconceptions or challenges that organizations face when they're going in and implementing the data governance frameworks?
That's a broad topic.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe just pick one. What's the top?
But I would say first, there is simply a vocabulary issue around data governance, data management, data cataloging, glossaries, and everything. So it's important to try to build this common understanding of, okay, I have an operating company. What do I need to do to master and understand my data? I need, of course, to have a technical layer where you understand all the systems you have across your organizations. And I mean, companies have tons of systems. And from there, understand how you integrate with these systems and understand the way the data flows across system A, B, and C, and what are the transformations you apply, and then where the data is consumed, in fact, and can be machine learning, can be AI, can be dashboarding, reports, and everything. That's one layer, and then you bring on top the business context and vocabulary, because your column might be named, I don't know, CL_ID, but from a business standpoint, it's a client identifier or whatever you name it from an operational standpoint. And you need to make the link between this business understanding and the technical implementation. That's one part. And the second part is, unfortunately, today, what we are facing is more and more companies are trying to implement data governance, are trying to implement data catalogs, but they don't know the why. Why are they doing it? In fact, what's the outcome of their initiative? And it's, I would say, a shift in mindset to say, okay, now we are not starting from the data, but we are starting from the business part. What are the challenges? What are you trying to achieve? I mean, maybe you want to reduce customer churn, or you want to increase profit, or whatever the initiative. And to succeed in this specific initiative, you need a specific set of data. And then the specific set of data needs to be documented into a data catalog with technical items and functional items. And this is really by having this end-to-end or holistic view of the why you do it and what you need, that you will be successful. But today we are facing a very puzzled approach from many organizations. They try to implement one part here, one part there, but they don't really connect the dots. And with AI, it's really it's really bringing really more complexity, because everyone thinks that AI will solve every single problem in your organization. It's this big red button you have somewhere, you push it, and then wham, everything is gone. No, because AI relies on data, relies on good quality data, on context around the data. And these are the type of mistakes many organizations do today.
Yeah, that makes total sense. One of the companies that I used to work for, I think they said something like bad data in, bad data out. Like basically, if you don't have clean data, then your reports are going to be not helpful at the end of the day.
I had other more, I would say, bad words type of approach, but in fact, the issue, and I had a couple of LinkedIn lives from the Data Governance Kitchen with data quality experts, and the message is clear. In fact, of course, you need data quality, or you need qualitative data to feed your AI, but if you don't have context around the quality, it doesn't bring value. And the idea was, for instance, birth date. Is the birth date in the right format and correct? I mean, if you generate an invoice, it doesn't care. If you run a marketing campaign for, let's say, your birthday, and you have a promotion or a discount, then it's very important. So it's the context which is important. And at the end is also bringing users with information around data quality, saying, okay, you have 20 or 30 quality checks and 20 failed. Okay, yeah, I know. Okay,
yeah,
but what is the real impact? Maybe is more important to say, okay, out of these 30 checks, 20 failed, but it impacts your dashboard in this area, that area, that area, and that area. And so you can really bring the context also of the quality issues. So
Okay.
it's very difficult to bring all the pieces together, but it's also the challenge of, I would say, building this communication channel between business users, technical quality, and all this part of the organization.
Yeah. And I can imagine the bigger the company, the more challenging it probably is to get
Yeah,
everyone
because
talking to each
it's
other.
very siloed, and
Right,
it's
right.
quite
Yeah.
difficult.
All right, cool. So let's talk a little bit more about your company, Data Governance Kitchen, and your approach to things. How do you differentiate yourself from other organizations, and how do you kind of stand out and help your clients?
So in fact, Data Governance Kitchen is a, how can I say, is a spin-off of
Okay.
Data Galaxy, spin-off of Data Galaxy, so which is the software editor, where I decided to share my knowledge. I told you I'm quite old. Share my knowledge, share my expertise, and provide and try to build a community of uh, data, not necessarily data leaders only, but also data doers
Okay.
that are questioning themselves about how do I implement data governance, how do I run data governance, and how do I scale data governance across your organization. And we try to be very, very pragmatic and actionable, because what I've seen in many, I mean, I've implemented probably 100 data catalog initiatives across many customers. Most of the organizations, they try to implement a kind of big bang approach to
Hmm.
data governance and say, okay, from day one to day two, we will be governed perfectly. No, this will
Right.
never happen. This will never happen. So trying to be pragmatic and say, okay, let's start small,
Hmm.
and it's a bit of the agile approach. We
Okay.
start small, we fail fast, and we learn fast as well, and then we adapt, and then we move to the next step. And that's what we try to implement with our methodology and approach, by having concrete use cases. I mean, for instance, critical data element certification is one very important use case we have within our organization, because when you try to implement data governance, I mean, you have in most of the organizations so many data assets, you will never be able to document everything. I mean, forget it, this will not happen. So
Right.
by working with some business lines and subject matter experts to identify what is important to them, and from
Hmm.
there try to certify these assets, then you start building the first step of your data governance from an enterprise standpoint.
Okay.
So that's what we promote at Data Governance Kitchen.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I imagine like starting small, failing fast, all that good stuff. You're fixing things before, like you said, if you kind of throw it all at once, you would have a big headache if it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, you need to. Let's take the example. You buy a house, an old house.
Hmm.
I mean, you will not be able to fix everything. I mean, what is most important? Probably your bathroom, your bedroom, and your kitchen,
Right.
and then you will move to the other rooms. That's the same for data governance, and I would say for now AI governance, because AI is everywhere. It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying AI, but for what purpose? And
Right.
okay, we can be on proof of concept for AI in, yeah, since many weeks or months, but at some point in time, you have to stop everything and say, okay, now we focus on one, two, three, four, five, whatever, uh, really tangible use cases, and then we'll invest and we'll go really deeper into the value it can bring. This is the paradigm that's changing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Another question that I just had that popped up. I love your name, like the kitchen and the chef and all that. What inspired that? Just curious.
So when I was, so I'm now living in France, but when I was back in Belgium, uh, food has always been my area of interest.
Okay.
And I created a cooking club,
Oh, nice.
and we were meeting with people which became friends at the end. Every month, we had a cooking session, cooking a full menu,
Okay.
and then eating at my place. I mean, I had a huge kitchen. Uh, so really passionate about food. And then when I moved more towards the data world or data governance, I said, okay, what would be the thing which would differentiate in terms of content and approach? I said,
Right.
okay, data is like managing a restaurant's kitchen. I mean, every day you receive new product. You need to
Right.
understand how you store, dry, cold, freezer, whatever, and
Right.
then you need to pick your ingredients and follow the recipe. And from the recipe, you need to build your dish and plate and serve it to the customer. And on the other side, the customer is expecting, because he is or she is reading the menu,
Right.
whatever, let's say uh, your uh, pasta with lemon and shrimps. So when you receive your plate, you expect lemon, shrimp, and pasta in your plate. So that's the way you can accommodate this type of ingredients recipe, data visualization or plate visualization, and it fits perfectly with the way you manage your data. So that's the way I build this type of approach between managing data and building data governance and being a foodie. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, it's so clever. And definitely, I think it helps you stand out. You have great marketing. So I love it.
Yeah,
um,
I can be in marketing, but I'm doing it. So that's
exactly. All right, perfect. Um, so we've talked about data governance and how important it is. We would say critical to organizations. Um, is there, in your mind, an idea on why it's crucial right now for businesses, and particularly how they impact decision making? What would be your kind of thought there?
yeah, let's say prior having AI as a buzzword, let's leave it aside for now. We were all talking about data-driven organizations,
Right.
uh, dashboards, reports, analytics. Um, C-levels, management board were making decisions based on reports. So the
Right.
data showed in the reports had to be accurate, fresh, complete. I mean, all these data quality dimensions. Um, so that's where data governance is important, because you need to understand where your data is coming from, what are the transformation applied to your data, but also what is the common of the understanding of your data across the organization. I, I had couple of assignments as a consultant in the past, where I was sitting at the board, and it was an insurance company, and I think I was asking about uh, contract insurance contract informants date or something like that. I mean,
Hmm.
a date. And I mean, there were 10 people. I had 10 different
Oh, geez.
definition and explanation of this date. So
Yeah.
that's really I would say, top part of the iceberg is people do not have the same understanding because they are siloed. They think they are right, and there
Right.
is no clear ownership, in fact. And
Mhm.
that's where
Yeah.
governance is playing a very important role in saying, okay, um, I don't know, this contract date is owned by that specific part of the organization, and
Right.
she or he's the one defining the only definition around this item. So that's very important. And then second is the context, once again, because when you bring AI, you can feed AI with tons of data, but it will not be meaningful to the AI engine if they don't know that this data is part of this specific context. I don't know, customer relationship, customer contracts, whatever.
Right.
And it creates bias, it creates misunderstanding, and then of course it creates wrong output. So the more you master your data at the I would say at the source, with
Hmm.
right and appropriate tagging, definition, classification, and everything, the better output you have. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've just, when you're saying that, I'm being taken back to being a recruiter, and we have applicant tracking systems. So you have to enter your notes in, you have to move candidates through the process. But like you said, if every recruiter is not following the same process, the report at the end of the day is going to be incorrect because maybe Erin moves her person to offer status at this stage, but the other person does something different. Then it's if everybody's not on the same page, then at the end of the
That,
day,
that's
your data's going to be wrong.
yeah, that's indeed complex. I had a chat this morning with one consultancy company where we were talking about AI supporting recruitment,
Mm,
and I can't recall which company, whatever.
yeah.
Um, they were in fact recruiting developers, coders,
Okay.
uh, through a first AI scan, but the bias was, let's say, 95% of the coders were males. So every application from women or females were automatically rejected, in fact. So
Oh, wow.
that's the
Interesting.
danger. That's the danger of letting simply the AI managing things for you. So
Yeah.
that's where ethical use, security, and things like that is very, very important in the way you manage your AI. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I am curious to see. I feel like AI is going to impact a lot of things, but I definitely think it will impact the recruiting industry. But like your example is, I think what a lot of people are scared of. Like we don't want to inadvertently be, discriminating or um,
Yeah.
somehow weeding out a whole, a whole gender
But it can
unintentionally.
also be the same when you apply for a loan, or you apply for
Right. Right.
whatever type of day-to-day request you might have across industries.
Yeah.
It can have a very negative impact. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Um, so talking about AI, we're in the future right now.
Yeah.
But do you have any emerging trends that you see maybe following AI or getting on the bandwagon? Like, what do you think from your perspective might be coming down the pike
Uh,
for us?
I think. I mean, I was at the Gartner summit in Orlando a couple of weeks back.
Mhm.
Um, of course, AI is everywhere,
Right.
but that's I would say that's just a for now. It's a for most of the companies it's a buzzword because
Right.
they don't have the foundations in place. I think we need to have the basics in place. So data cataloging, so you understand your IT environment. Then you have your governance
Mhm.
in place. So you define your policies, you define your controls, you define your classifications, you define your taggings. Then you have on top your data product type of approach, because this is very trendy and not in the future. I mean, it's already something which is
Already here. Yeah.
in place. data products. So managing your data as a product, meaning that you define a product and then you make it evolve, you reuse it. I mean, it's
Okay.
like you buy your car, I mean, whatever brand. Um, every I don't. I mean, when I was young, I'm 53. When I was young, we had one model of a car maybe every year or every 2 years.
Okay.
Now they have facelift every 6 months. They have, I mean, it evolves. So that's the
Much
product type
faster.
of
Yeah.
approach.
Hmm.
It's like your smartphone, Apple, Samsung, whatever. They release a new version every year, and it's the same with your data. You need
Right.
to make sure that you listen to the market and to your
Mm.
business users,
Right.
and adapt your data products and have a life cycle, and sometimes decommission because you have models which vanishes from the
Right.
market because it's not attractive anymore. So that's one of the trend. And the second trend, and the most important trend, I would say, is taking or seeing this order of things the other way around. Is first, in organizations, you define the why. Why
Right.
do you want to have an initiative? What is your strategic vision around data? Strategic initiative, strategic vision with a use case. We're back to, let's say, I want to reduce my customer churn by 10%.
Hmm.
To reduce that, I need to monitor specific set of data. This specific set of data becomes a data product. This data product is managed in a product approach with a life cycle, and then you document it in the catalog. You have data contracts between the one who's producing and the one who's consuming. So this
Okay.
data product approach is definitely a trend, and the data governance layer on top is also changing from a very centralized approach from, okay,
Hmm.
I have a kind of data governance office, to I have a data governance office editing some rules, but the application of the rule and the management and the daily use of this is done very locally. So it's
Mm.
more a they call it federated approach
Okay.
uh, through each business. So this is really the way we go forward. And then, I mean, yesterday I had a chat with a colleague talking about, is it the end of data cataloging and data governance?
Hmm.
Uh, I was tempted to say yes. He said yes, but no. And then we both agree that it's a yes, but no,
Okay.
because uh, the AI, in fact, will help you interacting with the data catalogs and the data governance organization in a kind of chat GPT or whatever uh, engine you're using, but you will not connect to an application anymore. It's more how you can simply ask in natural language questions about your data. I mean, what is the average, let's say, churn rate of customer segment A in this state or in this country, and then the
Right.
system will bring you information instead of having to really browse like a Google type of approach. You type a
Right.
query and then you have a result. You need to click on it, and then no, that's these are things that are vanishing. And
Hmm.
at the end, the role of data stewards and data owners will be more important, but less, I would say, less manual, because
Okay.
the AI will help you, in fact. And
Right.
AI will manage the, let's say, 80% of the classification, description, and everything, and then will only come back to you when there is ambiguity. Say, okay, I need your validation for this classification or for this description.
Okay.
That's the way we see the future. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Thank you for diving into that. Very helpful. And from there, if you were giving advice to maybe an organization that maybe they're listening to this and realizing that they're not paying attention to their data, or maybe they're not starting with their why or what have you, what would kind of be your advice to them? And what should they do like right now to move in the right direction?
I would say focusing on technology is never the right answer. Because the tools at the end of the day will do what you decide they will do. It's take a step back. I mean, the evangelism part is very important. Is walk the talk, preach the good words about data governance, and go and meet your business stakeholders and understand what are their daily constraints, in fact. Because it's only from there that you will be able to build useful use cases and provide value. That's an important part. The second is, once you've identified the use case, try to put dollars amounts next to it. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm always back to my customer churn, but if you're able to monitor your churn properly and try to reduce it, maybe you will make 1 million more every year. It's a guess sometimes, but at least you have quantifiable type of approach. Second is it's a human thing. If you don't build this network and relationship and bindings with your business counterparts, it will fail. It will fail because if you only focus on technology and platforms, I mean, yeah, it might work once in a while, but most globally, it will never work. And then the last part is communicate. Be very transparent, because data governance is not a sexy thing. In fact, in general, it's often seen as a type of police approach and say you can do this, you cannot do that. No, be transparent. Talk about ethics. Talk about security. Talk about whatever impacts or could impact and harm the organization. And then the more transparent you are, I think the more literacy you build with your organization, and then the more adoption you get into this initiative.
Yeah, I love that because as humans, we don't want to just be told what to do. We want to know why we're doing it, why it's important. So having that communication, I think, would go a long way.
Yeah, and don't try to control people. In fact, I mean, the innovation and the competitive advantages are not coming from controls, are coming from freedom, in fact. And let them try things, of course, in a specific frame and boundaries, but let people try things, in fact. That's the important part.
Love it. Awesome. So one final question I have for you is, what drives your passion for data governance, and how do you stay motivated? Like you said, it changes a lot. I'm sure it can be kind of hard to stay up to date with everything. So what's your motivation for it?
I would say I tend to disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I mean, it doesn't change. There are some basics that needs to be put in place. Of course, the top of the iceberg is melting and then freezing and then changing shape. I would say almost every day. But what you have underwater is always the same. You need to have scalable architecture. You need to have, I mean, depending on organizations, but cloud, move to cloud base or in-house. That's I would say that there is no specific choice there. Governance in place, understanding of your data assets, ownership, and governance. So I would say things are not changing. It's just the buzzwords which are changing into organizations. Yeah.
Awesome. So where can people find you if they want to learn more about you, about your company? What are the best places for them to visit?
So my I try to put my fingers right here. So
Yep.
the Data Governance Kitchen on LinkedIn. Also the so my partner in crime, Kash Mehdi, who's running the CDO masterclass. So we have a kind of two levels type of approach where I help doers, and he is helping uh, strategic thinkers. So he has the CDO masterclass page on LinkedIn, on my own profile on LinkedIn as well. So these are channels where we can share together and build a community. And then, if you need help, of course, we can support. But we try to be as much as possible agnostic. Is just about the way we can share best practices around data governance, implementation, AI, data governance, data product governance. These are the topics we support. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and share all things data today. We really appreciate your time. Hopefully, maybe we can have you come back at some point. But love it.
We,
Great
I'm pleased.
conversation.
I'm pleased to be there. But now I have a question for you.
Absolutely. Ask away. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm from the data governance kitchen part.
Mhm.
What is your favorite dish?
My favorite dish. Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
great question. I would have to say salmon. I love a good piece of salmon with risotto. That probably would be my favorite.
Uh, okay, good. I hate cinnamon, but okay, that's fine. But that's why we are all different in the world. And
Yeah,
but yeah, I would be more than happy to come back in one of the other sessions and keep on exchanging on these fast-moving trends of data governance, AI, data products, and help our community. I would say getting better.
awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you all to everyone who joined us live. We are planning to keep doing these and bringing on really cool people like Laurent. So if there's any topics that you are especially interested in, please feel free to send me a message and I will try to get them scheduled. Thank you so much for your time today, Laurent, and we'll see
Thank
you
you very
guys
much,
next week.
Erin, for the invite.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
absolutely.